everyone, my name is Phyllis and I'm the owner of Moody Quilting Fabrics. Today I'm going to show you Unit 1 from month 2 of the mystery quilt along that I'm doing on Facebook. I will put the link down below, okay? So you guys can hook in. You have to ask to join, but you're more than welcome. Now, I'm filming the instructions for the first unit that we're doing. Last month was all about the fabric. This month is going to be about Unit 1 and so forth and so on. So here we are. I am putting in my colors and then you just take and plug in what you want. So light orange, dark orange, light blue, dark blue, and a white background. Today we're going to work with the light and dark oranges. Okay, so I have some strips here. And all the instructions are going, and all the cuts and how many you need to cut and everything are in the instructions that will be found on the Phyllis's Mystery Quilt Along on Facebook, okay? So, and like I said, I'll put the link down below. And so here we are. I'm using, this is my dark orange, and this is my light orange. Okay, so we need to sew these strips, and you're going to do 8 strips of the dark, and you're going to cut 16 strips of the light. And next we are going to sew them together. I'm not going to show you how we sew them together, but I'm going to show you how we iron and stuff. So here I have the 2 strips sewn together. Now I like to iron to the dark side. So, oops, here goes my iron. I got to get it moving again. And we're just going to iron this together. And actually, I think I'm going to iron it this way. I always struggle to make sure that I'm ironing it in the right direction. So I'm just going to iron it like this. And I have my hand underneath, and I make sure that I hold the seam allowance the way I want it. I like to use steam. Right now I'm not putting the steam on, even though the steam is, and it looks like it's buckling, but you can get this too. And then we just continue. So you get it so you have it looking like this one. Okay, you want it looking like this one. And now we're going to cut these apart. So we need to work on a 4.5-inch cut for this. And I'm just going to put my iron aside, and I'm going to bring in my cutting board. So the first thing I want to do is I want to line up I want to line up this edge along a straight line, and this I'm going to make sure it's as straight as I can get it. Okay, so I'm going to get out my rotary cutter and my ruler. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this extra selvage. We don't need it. And we're going to cut that off. We're going to do 4.5. Now there's a couple of things you could do. You could use your ruler and use the lines on the ruler to do 4.5. Or you can use the mat. My suggestion is you use what you're most comfortable with. And I'm going to use the mat today. Sometimes I don't. But I also make sure that my ruler lines up. Okay, sometimes when we work with a different manufacturer and a different manufacturer, there might be a discrepancy. So be careful with that. But once you start cutting with only the ruler, you make sure you always use the same ruler and make sure that you cut it in the same way every time. If you do the quilt with cutting on using the mat, please keep that in mind. Every unit you do, use the mat if you can. Okay, so I'm going to use the mat 1, 2, 3, 4 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Now I use the ruler to line up my 1/2 inch on the number. You know what? Hold on. Let's just flip this so the numbers are in the direction that I'm cutting. So 1 to whatever. Okay? Now I'm just going to line this up again. I'm going to make sure this line is on a line, and I'm going to make sure that this line here is on the line. And I'm going to cut. I put off the ruler 1/2 inch mark, I put it on the 5. And I make sure that there's some dots here on the ruler. I make sure that they're lined up also. And then I cut. Okay, so that's a 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I make sure that everything is lined up along here, that everything looks straight. Okay, and you need to do so many of these from each. You need to make 72 of these, but each strip set that you make should give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you need to have, from each strip set, you need to get 9. And I will do the cutting using my ruler so you guys can see that. And you turn it around. And I don't get as anal about lining up on my board because I'm using the ruler to cut. So 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 1/2 inch line. I make sure that I have a straight edge along here, a straight edge as close to a straight edge, and this is not as straight as I'd like it, but I'm not going to worry about it because there's always discrepancies. And then you cut. Okay, so there you go, and that is month 2, unit 1. And 72. Don't forget, you have to make 72. The measurements are in the instructions, and there will be a picture to show you what to do. All right, so happy sewing, Mystery Quilt Along. I hope I'll see you next month. Bye.